Do you remember how our history classes used to be? When we are young, we thought history is so boring and we just memorize the facts and timelines only for the sake of exams. But now I think the textbooks might be boring, but not the history itself. With that note, hello everyone, you're listening to Ippodhu podcast with me, Pavithra. On today's episode, I'm here to preserve a slice of history about two Devadasi sisters and their water bodies, which is in my town, with some interesting stories and folklores. Firstly, we'll dive into the story of Ai Kulam. Kulam is a Tamil word which means pond. Then, who is Ai? Let's dig into it. In 1765, French regained the control of Puducherry, and their contribution to Puducherry's infrastructure was huge. It was French administration in Puducherry during the mid 19th century, which is now the Union Territory of India. The French colonizers faced the severe water crisis in the 19th century. At that time, Napoleon III was the Emperor of the France. He deputed the engineer called Lembrez to search for alternate water source in Puducherry. Lembrez was a French engineer and a translator who is also known for amazing dams and irrigation projects in Puducherry. And he is the one found the existence of Ai Kulam. He was also known for his translation works into French, including the translation of Tirukkural from Tamil. He also translated some songs of Indian temple dances into French. On the searching process of alternate water source, Lembrez found the salt-free water from Ai Kulam, which is located in Uttarapalayam. He planned to build a 7-kilometer tunnel from the Ai Kulam to the center of the French quarters, and he implemented the plan successfully. King Napoleon III appreciated the skills of Lembrez and asked about the story of Ai Kulam to the officials. Back to 16th century, Puducherry was under the Vijayanagar Empire king Krishnadeva. Once, he came to Puducherry with his minister Appaji to visit a wealthy and noble man called Uyakonda Mudaliyar. On his way, he came across a beautifully constructed grand mansion which he assumed as a temple. But it was actually a house of a Devadasi, which means a temple dancer, and whose name is Ai. He was stumbled with the architectural pattern of the building and its attracting fragrance and peaceful aura. He and the minister folded their hands to pay their reverence in front of the house. On seeing the king's action, a passerby told the king that it was not a temple but the house of a Devadasi. The king felt humiliated by his actions and asked how does the house of a temple dancer look grandeur. He immediately ordered to demolish the house of Ai. On hearing his order, Ai begged for mercy and forgive her. She requested the king to allow to dig a pond after demolishing the house for supplying fresh water for the people of her town. Later, the king accepted her request and she constructed a big pond and wells where her house was once constructed. Even though she was a temple dancer, she decided to do a good deed for the benefit of the townspeople. Napoleon III was moved by the story of Ai and her selfless sacrifice. So he ordered to build a monument to honor Ai and her generosity, who erected water body for providing water for the French people. The monument for Ai was constructed by a French architect, Louis Guerre, with Greco-Roman structure. It has 4 openings with a water fountain, pediment made with ice sculpture with a pot. The plaques present in the monument, written in Tamil and Latin, which detail the folklore of Ai and her selfless sacrifice. The Tamil plaque was made by Ukramurthy. Ai's story was well mentioned in the book called Varalaatral Devadaigal by C.S. Murugesan, along with the folklore of Usi, who is the sister of Ai. Like Ai, Usi was also a temple dancer and benevolent person who decided to do great welfare projects like her sister. The place next to Mutrapalayam found drought and the crops were dead due to water scarcity. It is believed that Usi is the one requested the King Krishnadeva Raya for the renovation of the dry land and make it a big water body for agriculture and irrigation purpose. She used her own money for renovating the area, which is in English called a lake, and the villagers helped Usi to clean the lake with cooperation. Now the Puducherry is one of the important wetlands in India, which is spread across Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, and it is declared as a sanctuary for migratory birds in 2008. The word Usi is a Tamil word which means needle, and she got that nickname for being very slim. There is no memorial or monument found to appreciate the enormous work done by Usi, but the lake was renamed as Puducherry for honoring the contribution of Usi. We have learnt in the history of India that Devadasis are termed as cursed community and temple prostitutes for their practices which they followed for years and years in the name of religion. But these 2 Devadasi sisters stand unique and dignified in the history by being the major water sources of Puducherry till date. Hope you all enjoyed today's episode. Please do subscribe and share your reviews to Ippodhu podcast. And stay tuned for our next exciting episode. Take care and bye for now.